Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up hard.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas.
Hi, everybody.
We had a lot of really good games this week.
Jeez.
Probably a game that was contender for game of the season, in my opinion. And it ended up costing somebody £8,000. So
well worth it, though.
Actually,
I
think
that's where we start.
we should start with that game.
That's where we start. We're talking about the Wolves Leicester. Phenomenal match.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
It was a hat trick from Diogo Jota. Jota, however they pronounce his name.
Diogo Jota.
And holy crap, did he have a fantastic game.
Yeah.
All three of his goals were well earned, well fought for, and just brilliant.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for Claude Puel.
Yeah, me too. I mean, because Leicester fought every inch of every minute.
So, and I remember we were watching the announcers after the match, and they were kind of talking about, is it time for Claude Puel to go out? No. They're in 9th right now.
It's not even time to have that discussion right now. I mean, you have to understand, and we were talking about it last night, and Thomas made the point. Leicester just scored 3 goals.
Exactly.
They didn't get pummeled. They got beat. And they just got edged.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't even a sound beating. It was 4-3, and it should have been 3-3. But one of those goals for Wolverhampton was an own goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really
that ball was going in anyways.
It was going in, but at the same time, it's so early right now to even. I mean, it's not even close to time to talk about Claude Puel being gone. He's doing fine.
He's a good manager. He has Leicester working relatively well. The problem right now that I think that Leicester is having is they're still on their high of their championship winning season, which they should be. Enjoy it, because winning a league the way that they won the league is exhilarating. I'm sure everybody on the team is still riding that high. The fans are expecting more. This is a very difficult league.
Yeah.
They're in the top half. They're doing better than Everton right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're in 9th place. Wolves are in 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So
by
if you're talking by 1 point. So if you're talking about Claude Puel's got to go, then Nuno's got to go too, because he's only in 8th place.
Yeah.
So no, Claude Puel's doing just fine with his team. His side's doing fine. Can they do better? Sure. I mean, they've already done better, so we know they can. But yeah, mentioning Claude Puel being sacked is ridiculous. It's just not even. It's not even a topic of discussion right now. So we're gonna stop talking about it.
After the 90th plus 3 goal, the third goal from Jota, Nuno did run onto the pitch with his team. Eat the fine, dude.
Yeah, it was £8,000. I mean, well worth it. I mean, he celebrated with his team, because they went from 1 point to 3 points.
Yeah.
So it definitely worth, the celebration. His guys pulled it out, and they deserve that celebration.
I'm sure Wolverhampton were very happy to see that he was celebrating with his team. And I'm sure he's happy, like I said, to eat that fine.
Sure. I would have.
And there was another... there's something that we were talking about that I kind of wanted to go over. And it was the own goal rules. We found it very interesting because we thought that... Was it their second goal?
I think
it was. It was Leicester's second goal. It should have been a goal from Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes.
Which he was making his debut. Would have been a dream debut. He had a brilliant hit. It was a fantastic shot. But it deflected between Connor Cody's legs. And the official ruling was an own goal from Connor Cody. And
Connor Cody didn't know anything about it.
No. And that got us thinking, how is that an own goal? You just took away a goal from a kid who's making his debut for this team. And it would have been a brilliant goal, and you just took it away. And we found out that it's actually up to the referee's discretion, is basically what the rule says. In the FIFA laws of the game, it does not cover own goals anywhere. What it is basically when a goal is scored, the referee is to assume that the attacking player is intending to score the goal. Sure. If it deflects off of anybody, it is then up to his discretion to say whether or not is this an own goal or is this a goal from the striker. And it's whoever he writes down.
Yeah, and in this instance, there's some instances where it's really gray. This instance, to me, it should have been Harvey Barnes' goal.
Yes. Without
a doubt. Because Connor Cody, 1, wasn't moving. 2, it went right through his legs and barely deflected off him. 3, he had his back to his own goal. So it's not like it was a random back pass that got away from him or he was just trying to clear his lines and scuff the shot. He really had no idea what was happening until it was long over. It was going in one way or the other. Harvey Barnes should have that goal. But again, it's up to the referee. I think Harvey Barnes got kind of robbed in this instance.
A little bit.
So,
you said you kind of wanted to just breeze over the Bournemouth game.
There was nothing going on. I mean, it was a snoozer. It really was.
I was disappointed in West Ham.
No, wait, no, that's not the one I wanted to breeze over. The Bournemouth West Ham. I have some stuff to talk about on that one.
Was it the Watford Burnley game you wanted to breeze over?
Yeah, that's the one that was, Watford Burnley. That was the one. I literally fell asleep in that one.
I'm surprised.
It should have been.
West Ham surprised me.
Yeah,
they did not come to play this game. Bournemouth did.
Actually, the statistics on that one, West Ham had 72% possession in the second half.
But what I'm saying is West Ham didn't.
But they didn't have a shot on goal until the 79th minute.
Exactly. They didn't push. They weren't playing well. They had the ball, but they didn't do anything with it. They say possession is 90% of the game. I disagree with that. It's more like 75.
And it was nothing in this game. It meant absolutely nothing. I mean, West Ham had 72% possession, which means Bournemouth had 38% or 28%, and still had 2 goals in the second half. I don't know. Their first shot on goal for West Ham was in the 79th minute. And this is the first time ever that West Ham has failed to score against Bournemouth. And this one gave Bournemouth, they finished a double for the season over West Ham for the first time ever. West Ham did not look very organized. They looked confused, man. And like Thomas said, they didn't come to play. They were there. They had possession, but for all the passing they were doing, I'm gonna look up the stats and see what the passing was.
Got it.
You got it already? Statisticos.
Passes. Bournemouth had 359 to West Ham's 582. So, and that just it shows you the possession went in West Ham's favor basically the entire game. But they just weren't dangerous. They lacked any creativity to actually get it into the final third and make any attempts.
They almost never got into the final third for all the passing they were doing, and it was good passing, and they were completing the passes, lots of them, tons of them, 83% pass success, but none of them amounted to anything. It was really a lot of nothing football from West Ham. They weren't going anywhere. Would they have? They had a total of 9 shots. 2 of them were blocked. 1 of them was on target, so it was safe. 6 of them were off target. That's a terrible rating.
And I will say this. I have nothing against Asmir Begovic. He played for Chelsea. He did relatively well at Chelsea. He's not a world-class keeper. If you challenge him enough... He's a good keeper, don't get me wrong. There's a reason he's starting in the Premier League. But he's not a world-class keeper. If you challenge him enough, he'll make mistakes.
Didn't play.
Did he not?
No.
Did I not notice that?
Artur Boric was in goal. Asmir Begovic was actually on the bench because Artur Boric has a contract expiring at the end of the season, and I think they're maybe trying to get him some exposure to get him gone. Maybe. That's what I think. Nobody said anything, but they did mention, it was Artur Boric with his weird neck tattoo.
How did I not notice that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna questioning my sanity now. All is good.
As well. Andy Carroll, still not doing it for me, man.
He never really has for me.
He had a couple of good moves here and there. Seemed like he was dropping a little bit deeper in hopes to get a touch on the ball, but still not doing it. Summer Nasri still looks good. I mean, after a 2-year break from the Premier League for some silly reasons, but still looks really, really good. So, you know, and let's see, Summer Nasri came off, and I think Javier Hernandez came on. And Javier Hernandez didn't have a terrible game. I mean, he only played about 20 or 30 minutes.
He's just not consistent anymore.
He's not consistent. And I think that's one of the things. I think once they get Summer Nasri up to 100%, Chicharito is probably going to take off somewhere because he's probably not going to get a whole lot of playing time anymore. Anyway, again, that's just my conjecture. Y'all tell us your thoughts on that.
Second goal fest of the week. This one almost ruined a season.
It wasn't all bad. It was a tough battle. It was tougher than it should have been.
It definitely should not have been that tough. No. Liverpool edged out Palace 4-3. I don't remember the stats. Before this game, do you remember exactly how many goals Alisson's led in this season?
9.
It
was 9.
So a third. That's 33% of the goals that he scored this season. He's been scored on the season in this game. I guess a fourth. Sorry.
It was 8 or 9.
Yeah, but I mean, they're just, and I think it has everything to do with Liverpool's defensive woes right now. They are struggling in the back. You cannot, as good as a defender as Virgil van Dijk is, you cannot rely on him like that. You can't do it.
Well, no, and I agree 100%. You know, with the injuries that the Liverpool are struggling with right now, yeah, it definitely put Alisson under a little bit more pressure. It definitely put Van Dijk under more pressure. You know, I'm not saying that Joel Matip didn't do well. I think he did okay. But because he's not getting, you know, as much playing time as, you know, he probably could be, you know, but you got guys like, you know, Joe Gomez who are out, Dejan Lovren, you know.
So the current official defenders that Liverpool have out right now are Dejan Lovren and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
That's a big one.
Yeah. They also have Gini Wijnaldum, who's a defensive midfielder. Fabinho, who's been playing center back a little bit since they've started their struggles, he's out as well.
And then you got James Milner, who is really just a utility player, and who will not be available for the next match because of the second yellow card.
They will be playing Leicester.
Yeah, they play Leicester, so it's going to be, you know, a moderate test.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah. I think Palace, and we've said this over and over, Palace comes to play. Their biggest issue is just the fact that they don't have a designated striker, but that did not bother them at all while they were at Anfield this past weekend. As far as defense, Crystal Palace have the 5th or 6th best defense. I think they're right behind the top 5 as far as defense. Their woes, their biggest struggle right now is they're lacking in the attack. But, I mean, they came up with 3 goals against a world-class goalkeeper this past weekend. And, again, that just speaks to Liverpool's defensive woes.
And it shows you that you can't always blame a goalkeeper.
That's true.
Just throwing that out there.
That's true.
Another fun fact for you I found out today.
Fun fact!
The referee that double yellow carded and red carded James Milner this weekend happened to be James Milner's sports coach in middle school.
I don't know what that means, but
I just thought it was kind of funny.
It was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was, apparently James Milner's like PE teacher in school is now a Premier League referee and red carded him.
Doesn't that mean he probably shouldn't have been the center referee because he knew the player personally?
It probably doesn't remember him. He's a teacher.
Oh, he's a teacher. He remembers.
That's
because
true.
that little son of a James Milner always putting thumbtacks on my seat and toothpaste in the pen holder. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
The kid did not learn that from me. I hope.
United Brighton.
Whatever.
6th win for United. I mean, it's the same thing again this week for United. I mean, they're still, it's the same new team that they've been. They're exciting to watch. they kind of fought for this one a little bit more, but they were able to push through and get the win and get the much needed 3 points. That I believe that edges them closer to Arsenal.
They are tied on points with Arsenal, but they're 3 goals behind.
Yep.
And I think they'll be able to make that up.
Yeah.
Arsenal's not doing terribly. They didn't have the greatest. No, actually, they had a pretty good week. I was thinking something else, so we'll talk about that later.
And they Man United are currently 3 points out of the top 4. They were what, like 8 2 months ago?
Yep. Yeah, since Solskjaer's come in,
Scary.
yeah, they're a little frightening. They're not Man City frightening, but they're playing. I mean, they've. What's happened is you've got guys like Paul Pogba, who are just. I mean, they're enjoying their football again, and they're able to express themselves in a way that Paul Pogba is like, "Yep, we're here to play." Whatever Jose Mourinho was doing to Paul Pogba wasn't working, and I just don't understand why he didn't see that. I mean, he can't be sitting at home, boo-hooing because he got sacked. Well, because he was destroying a good team.
And there's a reason why, while Mourinho was there were so many rumors of Paul Pogba going back to Juventus, going to Barcelona, leaving United. As soon as Mourinho's gone, I haven't heard a single one of those rumors. During the transfer window, I haven't seen a single one of those rumors.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, yeah, what is that, 6 in a row now for United?
Newcastle, Cardiff. I want to know where they got this new Newcastle team.
They played Cardiff. They played Cardiff. That's what happened.
True. That's true.
Not to really set fire to Cardiff.
But I mean, Newcastle, they didn't just play. They played. It was 2 goals from a center back. Right?
Yeah.
From
he had
Fabian Schär.
And he had a fantastic game because I think the third one he actually had an assist.
No, it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't an assist?
It was Rondon who had the assist.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
But Newcastle looked good. I mean, they looked like they were dangerous. Maybe it was the metal music they played before the game.
They did. They started off with Guns N' Roses.
No, that was an ending game. They were playing it was like a horror film movie.
Oh, The Exorcist.
That one.
Yeah, they played the theme from The Exorcist as they were coming out of the tunnel. Yeah, I remember that now. Let's see. This game was the first time in the last 9 games that Newcastle have scored more than 1 goal. And they scored 3. Cardiff City is the only side to not lead at halftime. Cardiff have only led for a total of 93 minutes this season.
It's not good.
That's not good. And that's why they're in 18th place.
With
5
wins?
19 points, 5 wins. They're minus 25 on goal differential.
Eesh.
Newcastle's in 17th, 21 points, and they're minus 12 on goal differential. So, I mean, they're getting beat, but they're not getting beat bad.
No.
Hopefully that's, a little bit better for them. Where are they? So that's 2 wins in a row, actually, for them in all competitions.
Yeah, but they played Blackburn.
Yeah, but, come on.
It's Blackburn.
Hey, man.
Sorry.
A win's a win. Win's a win.
Anyways, Southampton. Still blowing my mind.
Yes. Absolutely.
Every time they step on the field, it's ridiculous. They are a really good team right now. They played Everton. And usually Everton's a good team. This year, not so much. But they got beat. Southampton just outplayed Everton.
And they got beat well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 2-1 scoreline, but they got beat well. And actually, one of them was an own goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still earned it. I mean,
Sure, yeah,
it wasn't,
absolutely, they earned it. I mean, they pushed Jordan Pickford to the limit. I mean, who again had a pretty good game. I mean, he didn't have the best game, but I mean, he did okay. David Ward-Prowse's goal, I think in the 50th minute. James Ward-Prowse. I don't know where David came from. James Ward-Prowse. It was a phenomenal goal. I mean, he looked for it all the way. And it was, the beginning of the first half. And you could tell, I mean, Jordan Pickford was not happy with his defense when that happened. And then Lucas Digne with the own goal just a few minutes later, with 12 or 14 minutes later.
And it was kind of silly. Digne just made the wrong decision and came from behind instead of coming from the side to try and clear the ball and poked it in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a toe poke. But yeah, the Saints right now are under Ralph Hasenhüttl. I mean, and I've said this over and over and over. They're back to basics and they're putting it to work. And they're getting comfortable. They're getting confident. And I mean, they were definitely the better team for the entire match. They're really amazing. I know there was a lot of controversy about the stoppage time because at the end of the second half there were supposed to be 4 added minutes, and it didn't end until 98 minutes. And I know there was a whole lot of controversy about that. So I watched the match and I paid attention. I wrote down, who was doing what when. And 90 plus 4, so it should have been close to the end. Shane Long went down with an injury. And then 90 plus 5. The referee blew the whistle to stop the match. They came out, took care of everything. And then 90 plus 6. So it was about 2 minutes after Shane Long went down. And that's what it ended up being added on. Because by the time he started playing again, it was 90 plus 6. They added 2 minutes, 90 plus 8.
Okay.
Now, on the sidelines, Ralph Hasenhüttl was absolutely effervescent. I mean, he was screaming at the fourth officials. I mean, he's making all kinds of gestures. He didn't get himself in trouble, but I think he kind of walked that line a little bit. And, when I first saw those on the highlights, I was like, what in the world? They say, I understand it's a minimum of 4 minutes. But, now you're going into 7 and 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, when I watched the match, I wrote down the notes and everything. And there was a goal in there too. 90 plus 1, Gylfi Sigurdsson scored a goal. So I mean that adds a little bit of time here and there too. So the 8 minutes that was there was nothing really out of line. It's what I agree with the referee and what he used at his discretion to add on to the match.
Well, and in Ralph Hasenhüttl's defense, he's looking for the game to end.
Sure, yeah, because he's
got a slim lead against a fairly decent team. Yeah. It's a good 3 points if they can keep it, but he doesn't get those points until the match ends. So
right, and I understand. He's looking for the match to end because Everton was pressing a little bit right at the end. Because that's when Gylfi Sigurdsson pulled one back. They were at 2-0 until 90 plus 1. So yeah, that's a pretty slim lead at that point, and they say 2-0 is the most dangerous score in the game. But the Saints held on and got Ralph Hasenhüttl his 3 points. And Southampton are up to 15th place now.
They're climbing.
They're climbing,
They're
man.
slowly climbing, but they're definitely getting those points up. So,
yeah, I mean, they're tied on points with Burnley, who are in 16th, but they're plus 5 on goal. Well, they're 5 more goals to the good than Burnley. They're still minus 15, but Burnley's minus 20. And speaking of Burnley, they had a game at Watford, and that's the one that I was saying before. It was just a straight snooze fest. It was not a good game. There's really not a whole lot to talk about there. Neither team played as well as they could have. It was a 0-0 draw, and there's really nothing significant
I'm
to
honestly
talk about here.
Disappointed in Watford because they're a much better team than that.
Well, so is Burnley. I mean, they're struggling a little bit this season. And it was a pretty even match. It's just there was nothing going on, man. It was 90 minutes of blah. Just nobody wanted to get creative, It's kind of sad.
Excuse me.
So
we can.
Yeah, that's how boring it was.
We can skip that next match.
Oh yeah, we'll skip the Arsenal win over Chelsea, 2-0.
No, we'll talk about it.
No, it was a fantastic match. It really was. It was a great London derby.
It's just,
Arsenal was just a better team.
Well, and it goes back to the point. Chelsea are inconsistent. And it's honestly it's infuriating as a Chelsea fan to see that, because we have the talent. Something's just not always clicking, and Sarri needs to figure out what it is.
Yeah, and you could see the frustration with him on the sidelines. I mean, Chelsea had that. They had that smooth, slick. The commentators even called it, that slick, smooth passing that Chelsea's known for. It just didn't take them anywhere. They didn't use it to their advantage. And they were really sloppy on the ball. I mean, it was hard for them to just string passes together. And it was very disappointing. I mean, Chelsea is this is a powerhouse team. And they just struggled so much. They had 64% possession for the match. 565 passes. They had twice the passes of Arsenal. That's what I'm talking about. They had 565 accurate passes, 87%. And they never bothered to score a goal.
It's just, like I said, as a Chelsea fan, it's infuriating, because I mean that alone shows the skill that we have. I'm sorry, not we. That Chelsea has. They're not using it, and it's just it's infuriating. But
and I think there was some goalkeeper stuff going on, because both of them had 13 shots. But Chelsea had 3 block shots, and 9 just not on target. And you could see there was frustration on all of them. There was a couple of times that they were tackling each other. They had players who were just doubled up in the space, and you could see the frustration. Like, why are you here? You're supposed to be over there. Why are you here? What am I doing here? I'm supposed to be over there. It just seemed like the organization really broke down. And yeah, that's something that if Sarri ball is going to continue to make its impact in English football, he's going to have to figure that out, man. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to get those boys organized, because the talent, the skill, and the love for the game is there. It's just being left in the locker room somewhere. So.
City, 3-0 win over Huddersfield. I mean, really, what else is there to talk about? I mean, it's what we expect from City at this point. It's what we said all last season. I mean, the gears are just turning, and it's a hard machine to stop. Goal from Danilo, Sterling, and Sane. Sane had a pretty good game.
Sane had a good game. For some reason, they have Danilo as man of the match, but I'm going to change that to Leroy Sane. When you have a goal and an assist,
he's such a good player. I mean, he's a workhorse. I mean, he's always in the right place. He's got excellent touch on the ball. He's got excellent service into the box. He's got excellent, vision for open space to make the right runs. It's just
and he's eager.
Yeah, it's brilliant football. He's an excellent footballer. But I mean, that's really all I have to say for that match. I mean, it's
what everybody expected from both teams. Huddersfield, you kind of feel bad for them. They do have a new manager now.
What was his name? Like Jan Servant or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Sievert.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Jan Sievert. So good luck to Jan Sievert. He's got some stuff to work with. Hopefully he can, maybe do like Ralph Hasenhüttl. Just go back to basics, man. Yeah. Teach these guys. Listen, just keep it simple, stupid. Stop trying to force it. Just take your time with it. So good luck to them with that, because they've got a relegation battle. I mean, that's all there's to it. Huddersfield and Cardiff, especially, are going to be in a relegation battle for sure.
Last game of the week is one I'm very disappointed with. This is going to sound insane to somebody who hasn't seen the match. Fulham should have won this game.
I agree.
Fulham absolutely should have won this game.
I mean, especially with Llorente giving them a goal.
So Fulham had an own goal early on, and Dele Alli brought one back right after halftime. And it wasn't until the 90th plus 1 minute.
Was it 90 plus 4?
Oh, was it plus 4? Yeah. No, it wasn't that much. I guess it was. That Tottenham scored their second one. Fulham played really, really well. And in my opinion, they got screwed out of 2 penalties.
Yes.
They absolutely got screwed out of 2 penalties.
Well, and they got kind of robbed on time, too, because Harry Winks scored in the 90th plus 4, and there was only 3 added minutes.
It seemed like as much as Claudio Ranieri wanted to win that game, he had the team in the right tactics. He had everything going relatively right. It was working really well for Fulham for a game against Tottenham. They got screwed. And I mean, it happens, unfortunately. It's just what it is. I mean, for those of you NFL fans, the Saints got robbed. I mean, one play can change the whole game. You can't linger on it. You got to move past it.
Yeah, you got to move on.
Fulham needs to take that momentum, though. They need to realize they played a really good game. Keep it coming. That was... I usually don't like the Fulham games because they're kind of boring to watch. I liked watching this game because Fulham seemed like a new team. Please bring it to the next game. That's all I have to say.
That's all I have to say.
That's the last of the matches. We do have some news.
Oh, yeah?
U.S. goalkeeper Tim Howard has announced that he will retire at the end of the 2019 MLS season. Again. That's really it. There was another piece of news. Southampton have sent Wesley Hoyt out on loan.
He's going to Celta
Vigo. There was another relatively big name that I wanted to find.
Mark Pugh from Bournemouth to Hull City.
Tottenham have sold Moussa Dembele
to Chinese Super League somewhere, isn't he? Or did I get that wrong?
Nope, you're right. Guangzhou RNF FC. Okay, then.
You want the egg roll?
Jeez. And one last piece of news. So Cardiff City recently bought a player from the French league team Nantes, whatever you say it. Emiliano Sala. And last that we heard, his plane never arrived in Cardiff.
Yeah.
And for the past
record signing for them.
It was for the past 3 days they have been looking for his plane. It is nowhere to be found. So our thoughts and prayers are with Cardiff right now, and Emiliano's family as well and friends. I'm hoping they find him.
Hopefully they find him well.
Yeah, losing a footballer like that is something we never want to see. Losing anybody like that is something we never want to see. But yeah, hopefully the search crews can find the plane and the plane's passengers in good health. So that's all I have for the week.
That's all I have as well. There's not much. I mean, this transfer window has been really...
It's a lot of speculation at this point.
Yeah. So apparently Real Madrid are looking maybe to get rid of James Rodriguez to the Premier League. Maybe with Arsenal or Spurs. So that'd be interesting to see.
I'm surprised that Bayern...
Aaron Ramsey still may be going to Juventus. Looks like Arsenal's looking to land a couple of key players, and if that happens, then Aaron Ramsey will go to Juventus.
I have more news. Dele Alli is out with an injury.
Uh-oh.
So that means Tottenham right now are without Harry Kane, Dele Alli, and Son, because Son is still at the Asian Cup games. By the way, South Korea just won their not quarterfinal, the game before the quarterfinal, the 8th final or whatever.
Round of 16.
Round of 16, that word. They won their game against Bahrain today. So Heung-min Son will be at those games for at least another round. That's a struggle for Tottenham. They are without their...
They're out without their attack.
Yeah. And they have a big EFL Cup game against Chelsea coming up. So, speaking of EFL Cup and adding FA Cup to the situation, there will be no Inside the Six next Tuesday. For a couple of reasons. There will be no Premier League games to watch, and we will be in Raleigh.
we will be visiting Metallica next week. So yeah, Inside the Six will not be on the air, so don't go looking for it and wonder what happened. We will be back the week after.
Yep.
Fear not, all 6 of you watching.
Hey, we appreciate all of you.
Hey man, but yeah, so yeah, don't look for us next week, but look for us the week after. We'll put the posts on Instagram and the Book of Face,
and Twitter,
and the twits. But, so that's Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. We appreciate you guys being here to watch. Thanks to Thomas for doing all the editing and production and all the inside super duper electrical mechanical stuff, because I just sit here and read my notes.
That's true.
Hey man, I financed it, so
that's also true.
Big shout out to our buddy Macrophonic MC, who lets us use his music for the intro and outro. Check out his links there. He's a very talented guy. He's a very good guy. Support him. And check out the t-shirt shop where you can get t-shirts, hoodies, and all that stuff. They're really cool. We'll see about maybe starting work on a new design here pretty soon.
Yeah. So
you can upgrade the old wardrobe.
I need a new one.
Yeah, Spa-oom and the wardrobe. Anyway, never mind.
What?
It's a Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Anyway, it was just a weird reference. My bad. But thank you for watching. This is Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. I don't think I forgot anything. Thanks to everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up.